How you doing? Good day. Welcome to office hours. This is the first time I'm doing something like this. I am quite excited to be here. I've got a few things going on today that I think are going to be great for you to kind of watch and get your own focus going on, I think is what you're going to want to kind of see happen over the course of this next hour. So, let's get into it. First off, if you're here, I definitely want to hear from you in the chat. Let me know where you're coming from. Let me know, what you're going to be working on. Maybe what you're going to work on, other than maybe watch what's going on here over the course of the next hour or so. Again, for those of you who are not familiar with me, you saw this pop up in the algorithm, or you are subscribed to a bunch of other productivity YouTubers, and it just so happened that you got to see this. I'm Mike Vardy, also known as the Productivityist, and I have been studying productivity for the better part of a decade. I've written books about it. I've created courses around it. I've done a podcast, several of them, but my latest podcast is approaching. Gosh, we're almost at 400 episodes. We're about 20 away, so we're well into things. Of course, the podcast is called A Productive Conversation. Fabrice is here live. Thanks so much for joining me. It's 10:30 p.m. Maybe you're going to be planning. Maybe it's a night owl thing for you. I'm a night owl myself, so I totally get it. And I want to give a shout out right now to Francesco of Keep Productive, because today, and I'm probably going to do a reacts video to this too, so it's a little behind the scenes thing, but he ranked productivity YouTubers and I made the cut. So I'll be sharing my thoughts. So big shout out to Francesco and all the people that made that list as well. If you haven't had a chance to watch the video, go ahead and check it out. Francesco has a fantastic YouTube channel, and I encourage you to check it out. Today, my plan is simple. My plan is to mix camera angles every once in a while as I'm working, because you can get a better lay of the land of my study here by doing that. So I'm going to be moving around over the course of the hour as I work on some things. That's one of the parts of what I'm going to be working on. You're going to get to see some screenshots as well. So right now, if I was to do this, you're going to get a real Escher kind of painting right now. But I actually have myself on the iPad right now. So I've got that connected, as well, of course, as my iPhone. So you can see that I've got some stuff going on here. I've had some, maybe you can't. There we go. We're starting to see some stuff here. So you're going to be able to see some stuff as I work on my iPad as well. This is where I get to play with the tech that I have. So I'm excited for that. First off, another shout out beyond the fact that, beyond the fact that, and we're going to have to migrate. There we go. And this computer's old, so you may actually see some I wouldn't say some slagging or some lagging maybe. I've got my water, which I think is critically important when you are trying to do work. Stay hydrated. But I also had a chance to take some of this. This is Purpose Plus from Sovereignty. And what Sovereignty is they create Ayurvedic, this particular mix has elevated mood elements, balanced energy, and enhanced brain function. So this is one that you're going to want to, if you're going to take something like this is one you take during the day. And hold on a second, because that's better. I forgot to turn on the light. So this is called Purpose Plus. I also have the Dream Plus, which is, I took some of this last night before going to bed. I'm enjoying this stuff. They sent me a frother and everything. They are sponsoring episodes of the podcast, but I thought I'd give Sovereignty, you can go to sovereignty.co. I thought I'd give them a shout out on the channel as well. I just had some of this. So this is CBG and Ayurvedic inspired adaptogenic blend with berry citrus. I will say that when you take anything like this, number one, do your homework, read some of the supplemental facts and stuff like that. But also, it's a powder rather. So have a shaker or a frother or something like that handy, so that you don't get that chalky taste, because powders just generally do that. So I frothed it for a while. I'm not a pop drinker anymore, and I only really have 1 cup of coffee to start the day. So this is what I've got about 10 of these, not in me right now. I have a sample pack of 10, and I'm putting it through the paces. So thanks to Sovereignty for sending that my way so I can put it through the paces. So what you can expect in this live stream is me working, basically. If you have questions along the way and you're here in the live chat, feel free to ask them. I definitely want to hear from you. I know I'm doing this at a bit of an off time. Normally I do my live streams on Saturday, but I wanted to get something out here on Tuesday, and yesterday I had a vacation day with my family. So by doing that, and there we go, we got Fabrice. I can move this around. Look at this. I forgot that you could do that. So thanks to Fabrice for joining me live. So I'm glad that you're here from France, all the way from France. That's great. If you are not watching live, just leave comments with questions. I'll come back and circle back and check them out. In the meantime, what the game plan is for today, you could probably see behind me. I've got my desk here. I've got some elements. And again, I know I'm going to get a bit of freezing every once in a while, and I apologize for that. I've got some of my sheets from the 6 that are here. Let's see if we can get the stream to stabilize a little bit. And so I'm going to be using those. I've got some other planning tools as well, so I'm going to be going through that. I will be doing some stuff inside of Todoist for some personal stuff over the next hour. You may even see me do some writing, but that's the game plan. I'll check in, every so often. I'll probably pump out some music during this as well. And the way I can do that is through brain.fm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test this and see if I can make this happen. And if you're, I'll give this a listen once I get started. So that way you've got some kind of sense of, what I'm doing in the meantime. You got something to accompany you, so it's not just dead silence, right? That's what I'm going to do. If you have any questions or anything, let me know in the chat or in the comments. And I'm just going to get started. So right now I am going to turn this on. And I am going to we're going to do 60 minutes of creative. We'll just do 60 minutes we'll do deep work. So 60 minutes of deep work. I might as well share this on my screen. So this is brain.fm. I really like what they offer. So when you use brain.fm, you could choose any one of these options here. I am going to go with focus. We'll do 60 minutes of deep work. You should be able to hear that in a second. And I'm going to change and I've got all genres of music playing. We'll go with lo-fi alone, and then that way we can, and I'll just turn it down a bit. I'm going to give this a listen on the live stream as well. So let's go back to our main, and that's what we'll do. We'll get started. So if you're hearing something and you're in the live room, let me know. If not, I'll figure that out soon enough. In the meantime, let's get to it. I'm going to get started with some work. I'll see you. So I know you're not getting anything through here, so I will figure out a way to make it happen. But in the meantime, let's get started with some work. All right, so I'm putting this through the paces, and I am not hearing anything, unfortunately, which is unfortunate because I'd like to be able to play some stuff through here, but let's see. I knew I'd get this thing figured out. All right, so you've got some music now that you can kind of use as a way to kind of work. So I'll get back to it. So I use these analog cards, and I know it's kind of hard to see from here. Maybe you'll be able to see them better from over here. And I use them for planning, and one of the things that I think can be really helpful is to kind of not use every single element of them. So for example, I don't put 10 items on this. I'll put 6 to correspond with the 6 program that I've launched. So I'll get some of those on here, and that's kind of the way I'll walk through. And this is for the rest of my day. Okay? So I put 3 things on here already. I'm working through a 4th and a 5th and a 6th, and more of that stuff will show up on here. But this is kind of like just one way. If you already have the analog cards, I think this is a way to do it. I'll do a longer video of how I use these cards. Jeff Sheldon of Ugmonk makes these, and I really do like them. So I'll definitely make a video at some point that kind of walks through how these can be useful. I don't use them necessarily every single day, but I do like what they offer. They're very simple and flexible, so I like that. So I've got 3 things on here so far. I'll add some more. So those are the 6 that I have on here. It might be hard to see. There we go. Now you'll notice you might have seen that on the bottom of these, I have cleanup, Todoist, and cleanup front. Front is my email application of choice, and Todoist is my personal to-do list manager. I don't use Todoist for business stuff anymore. But what I would, that seems like it's more of a project. Like, to be honest, you could classify cleaning those up as projects, but I know what that means, and that just means for Todoist, I'm going to go in and just make sure that everything's kind of aligned. There we go. And I also, with Front, I'm just going to go in and make sure that that's just basically email. I'm going to look at all the emails that are assigned to me, because that's one thing you can do in Front. I'm just going to make sure those look good. You probably will see me just do the Todoist stuff, as well as write some of the words and plan the video. That's what's on here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this, put this over on my little stand. And that's kind of how that works. So now I'm going to charge my iPad because it's getting really low. I like having everything pretty much in one location here in my study, all within arm's reach, at least the tech stuff. So if I was to show you right now, and I really can't do that, my tech deck, there's a camera here, this whole area over here where camera 1 is. This is my, like, right in front of me. I've got a monitor that tells me what's here. My Rodecaster Pro is over here. My A10 Mini Pro is right here. And then my iMac, I've got some lighting up here. So I try to keep everything kind of centralized in that regard. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Todoist and I'm actually going to go and plan some video stuff first. And then I'll go into Todoist after that, because by that time the iPad will have charged a little bit, and then you can kind of see what I'm doing inside of there. And again, if you have any questions as I make my way through this, feel free to ask away. One thing that I do is I love my notebooks, and I keep notebooks kind of for every particular area. So this Rhodia notebook that I happen to get from the fine folks at Goldspot Pens, this is where all my video stuff lives for now. There's lots of, like, I've got a little folder in here that has ideas, but this is where all this stuff lives. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to map out the video idea in here, and then that way when I'm ready to shoot it, which won't happen till tomorrow, because tomorrow is my audio video day, when I shoot it, I already have it kind of mapped out. I may later on today, but it's probably more likely tomorrow, map out what Saturday's live stream will be, and then I'll schedule that as well. But that's something else I can do. The whole idea behind the 6, which is this program I've launched this week, is to do 6 things, whether it's 6 habits, track 6, 6 elements of a routine, all that stuff. That's what the 6 is all about. So I'm espousing that, like I'm going to live up to that. So I want to get these 6 things done that I listed on the card, the analog card that I showed you. And then from there I can do more. And if I do those 6 things, then it's a successful day. So that's what I'm going to focus on right now, which includes planning this video. I'm going to see if my son can come downstairs for a second because the video I want to plan has to do with reactions. So I want to see if he's going to be able to, and here he is. I can hear him coming right now. Come on in, bud. Can you get in? Push it a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, Colton Vardy. I'm doing my live stream right now. What are those videos when it's like people react? What do they call them in the titles? Just like so and so reacts. Like, do you know the react? Like,
yeah,
what is it?
Say that, basically.
What does it say? Like, what's the title normally say?
Well, it would say like whoever is reacting to it, and then it says react.
Can you go get your tablet and show me some examples? Oh, just show me examples on your phone. Come over here. Let's go to this angle. Let's go to this angle. All right, so go ahead, show me. This is why it's great to have someone who knows YouTube in the house, because I don't. All right, so let's see.
That's not a good example.
Okay, fine. Yeah, see if we can find another one. He just turned 11, like, what, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
So if you want to say happy birthday to him in the comments, that would be kind of cool.
This might be a good example.
So it's reacting. Oh, so it's all reacting. So reacting to. So I should call the video. Let me be clear. I should call the video reacting to keep productivity YouTube rankers or something like that. Because look, I'll show you real quick. I wonder if I could do. I'll show. Okay, so let's go here. So keep productivity YouTubers ranked. You should look at that. If you can find it, you should look at it as well. Yeah, ranking productivity YouTubers. So look where Francesco put me. He put me. Oh, there's ads and all that.
So like reacting and then the title of the video.
Reacting and then the title of the video. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thanks, bud. There we go. I got an expert. So that's what I'm going to call the video. Reacting to whatever Francesco called this video. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Nina, thanks. Yeah, why not, right? Like, he knows it, and that's, he gets it, and that's what's attracting his attention, so I figure why not? So I'll move over here so you get a better shot of what I'm going to say here. So so number one is I will watch the video again, right? Watch the video. So I'm just going to put the steps here. So that way I know what I have to do. I'll watch the video again, then I will, kind of make notes on it as I go, and then I'll just film it. I don't know that I need to make a lot of scripting with this one, but I think it's going to be a fun one to do. Because I think Francesco left out some people that I think could have been on there. The fact he included me, I think, was fantastic. But that's a video I'm going to make. So that'll be the video that comes out Thursday. I know I put in the polls that we should do something good, something bad, a bit of both, which was a shout out to the Guardians of the Galaxy. This is probably going to be a bit of both. So there you go. All right. So I can now legitimately say, and I know that I have a sense of what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to watch the video, make notes, and then film it, edit it. Like I just basically put these kind of notes down here when I'm doing this stuff, so that way I can see it, edit it. Maybe I should put on my to-do list, get new computer. What do you think? If you think I should, put it in the comments, because I think I'm trying to hold off until the new iMacs come out, like the new ones, like the ones that are going to have, because I want to have it all in one. But I may need to jump the gun before that. So edit it. The B-roll. I'm going to have to grab some B-roll from Francesco, which I could do. Thank you to ScreenFlow for that. This video stalling is getting on my nerves. Okay. All right. So I know that this is next. but I'm not going to do anything more with this today. I'm not going to do anything more with this today. So I'm just going to take this and kind of leave it as such. All right, so I will put this back with my video content stuff. Let's move this back over here and see if just moving things made things a little bit better. All right, I'll just leave this right here for now. This camera is the one that's acting up. I wonder if it's an HDMI leak or something like that. I'm gonna test this real quick. All right, maybe that worked. I don't know. I've got some focus here, I think. I think the focus is okay. I think I need to be back a bit more and over this way. All right, so now that that's been done, yeah. The stream is lagging. Now, is it only the stream is likely lagging because I'm trying to put this machine through too much? Thanks for that, Fabrice. I appreciate it. I will. It's likely that that's going to happen in the next few weeks. I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and pick up something new. Okay. So next up is I'm going to just start writing. So that's the next phase. Now, normally I write between 8 a.m. Pacific and 12 p.m. Pacific, or 12:30. So 4.5 hours I normally dedicate to the writing process. This time, and yeah, it's the computer. You're right. I think that there's some auto white balance set up on that one camera too. You know what? That's a really good point. Let's jump on that right away. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here real quick. Yeah, this one's manual that I'm shooting on right now. I think they're both set to manual, but I think one is set to auto white balance. So let's go to ClickUp, because this is where, and I'll just do it this way. All right, so I got lots of stuff in here. We're going to add a task. Really look into buying a new computer. Live streaming is laggy. So I'm not going to assign that to the blog. That's just going to be admin, general admin, and that's for me. Done. And I'm going to the start date for this. I love start dates in Todoist, by the way, or in ClickUp. Wow, Freudian slip there. Due date. There. Done. Okay. And I'm going to make this of high importance. All right. So there's that. Next up, I have to go to new task. It's still going to be in general admin. This might go to YouTube though. So I'm going to put content, YouTube, general admin, check white balancing of both Lumix G85 cameras. And that's going to be me. And I will do that. Start date will be today. Due date will be tomorrow, because tomorrow is that. And that's also going to be of high urgency. Okay. Done. So there. You just got to see a little bit of behind the scenes of how I capture stuff there. Thanks, Fabrice. I appreciate the comments. I know that I'm still kind of new to this thing, and still trying to figure some of this stuff out. I have some of the gear, but some of it is obviously not living up to what I need it to be. And I'm going to actually go ahead and focus this camera a little bit better here. There we go. A little bit. Oh, it's worse. No, that's better. All right. So moving on to the next thing is I'm going to actually do some writing. So like I said, I normally will write between 8 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. So that's 4.5 hours. Now that's not all pure writing all the time, and it's not all for one particular project. But in this case, I'm going to spend some time. I want to write about 2,000 words for a project that I'm working on, my next book. So you'll probably see me in the distance doing it, and I will jump back and forth between it, between here as I do it. Don't really have any blogging stuff to do today because tomorrow's blog post has to do with the podcast that goes live. I have a blog post that's going to happen on Friday, so I'm definitely going to make sure I want to do that, but I won't be doing that today. And I also, remember, I have 2 other things I want to do. I want to check in with some clients, and I also, if I remember correctly, I also want to clean up Todoist and Front. You might get a chance to see some of that. We'll see. It's now 25 minutes left in this hour. Okay, so let's get happening with that right now. But I want to get back to actually charging my iPad again. And yeah, I'm not thrilled with the way that the computer is doing what it needs to, but I'm asking it to do a lot. All right. I'm going to raise the camera a bit. There we go. And that's better. So this device right here, the device I have is called the Hemingwrite, and it's a really cool little, basically a word processor. Probably do a showcase video on that as well. But that's, and Hemingway wrote at a standing desk, so I've got this standing desk here. So I'm gonna, work through that as well. I'm also gonna shift the camera over a little bit so that you can see it a bit better. Maybe go a little higher. Not too much. All right. Okay, so that's kind of what it sounds like as I'm writing. When I'm in here doing some writing, that's essentially what you hear. Is my daughter hears it especially. It's just a lot of just clackety clackety. It's a mechanical keyboard. It's such a really nice device. I don't want to spend too much time doing that while you're just watching this, because it can become, I would imagine, quite boring. especially with the way the camera angle is. But that's, you just saw like what I do basically, and that's how it sits. Now, if I'm going to be sitting and doing some kind of mapping out of stuff, right, then that happens here. I have essentially 4 different productivity zones in my study, right? You know, there's the tech area, which I mentioned earlier. There is the reading area, which if you take a quick peek, although there's lots of stuff on it right now, normally it's way back there. It's a little bit where that pillow is. Move the microphone out of the way. And then there's the writing area, which is right there. And then, of course, there is this kind of planning or other analog work area right here. So even though my study space is really small, I get a lot out of it. I maximize the space. For a long time, I really tried to make this desk kind of a hub. But I realized that with all of the gear that I want, including this computer, that it was just, there was no way that I could, make it work. The desk is very narrow in scope. I want to have I want to have everything on it that I can. So, and I want to make sure I have a desktop here, because here's the thing is when I'm done working, I don't want to be bringing my laptop with me. I mean, I have my iPad, which does a lot of amazing things, more than what I need it to do in most cases. So why have a laptop? And yes, Fabrice, I guess I am theming my space to a degree. Yeah, but I think that that's valuable. I think that having different areas and different environments definitely creates the space that it puts you in the right frame of mind. I know John Cleese. I'm reading this book right now. Fittingly, yesterday when I took my holiday with my family. Let's lower this again so I can kind of watch this. This is going to come down pretty quickly. And there we go. Fittingly, I have this book called How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell. And I started reading it yesterday on a trip where I was supposed to be doing nothing, right? So one of the things that came up, and I've seen this talk that John Cleese did, and it comes up in the book, and it reminded me again, was this idea that you need time and space, and time shows up twice, to really create. So if you have these different spaces, and I don't have a lot of space in this study, if I have like the different zones, and I've themed these zones, so to speak, then I can actually, when I get there, I go, okay, this is what this zone is for, and my brain becomes attuned to that, right? So you could see it, like I just started going right there because I knew where I left off, and I wanted to keep going. I'm working on a area about the idea of unity, or unifying your intentions with your attention. That's what I'm working on in this writing right over here. So I was just able to go, and when I go back there, I'm going to be able to pick things up where I left off, right? So, but here is the tech space, so I need to be able to kind of get into that. So yes, definitely there is some kind of thematic element to my space. So now that we're kind of, we've only got about 18 minutes left, I didn't want to spend that whole time writing, right? So I've got a sense of what this video is going to be about. I've put that right in here. Oh, that was almost something for the blooper reel. All right, so that's one thing. I wonder if there's a lot of light coming through here too, which is why the different areas are lit differently. But the other thing is, so I've done that. I've written a bit. I have added some stuff to ClickUp that I need to do. Who knows? I might be buying a new computer before the end of the day. Maybe, hopefully my wife isn't watching this. I may need to look at that option. But things seem to be settling down here. But now what I'm going to do is I think my battery life is a little bit better, so I'm going to give myself a chance to go through Todoist. Maybe what I'll do here is I will kill the music, and I will use my phone instead, just to give it that sense. So I'm going to go to my phone right now, and you can see it here. Go into Todoist. Now, there's a lot of stuff in here that needs to be done. So there's some inbox stuff here, but I'm more concerned about, I'm going to close all these projects. I'm more concerned about the today view. So there's lots of stuff here that is quote overdue. And the reason is simple. It's because of me taking time off, etc. So we have to do this. I'm not doing this today. It'll happen. Actually, it won't happen until Thursday. I am going to, because her screen protector looks like it's broken. It's either that or the screen to her phone, which I certainly hope it isn't. I'm going to need to do this with Anne. And I am going to, it's a fairly low energy task, so I'm going to call it shallow work. And I'm going to move it to a project. So where it says inbox, no, let's get out of there. So today, well, now it's already done to the rest of, so it's still sitting in my inbox. You know what? Today is Chicken Fingers Day. That's hilarious. I love going to daysoftheyear.com and seeing what, really likes to focus on that calendar, doesn't it? There we go. All right. Come on. There we go. So it's make chicken fingers for dinner day. So I think that's what we're going to have for dinner, my son and I. So we're going to make chicken fingers for dinner, and I got to update the calendar on the fridge. This is happening today. There's a few things here. This is happening today. Returning the bottles, we have to do that. That's going to happen on Saturday. I already did that. That's my brother. Taking out the garbage, I don't know when that has to happen. I think garbage was last week, so I'm just going to move it to, well, there's a holiday in there. We're going to say that if it happened last week, I'll just move it to that day for now. We'll see. It's probably going to move. But there's a lot of things in here that need to be kind of isolated. So you can see now if I rescheduled all of these, so like here, for example, I'm not going to be able to get back to doing that until next week. So I'm going to say on probably the 2nd is the next time I'm going to be able to do this. And this does not have to happen at all because we already had Colton's birthday party. That was done. I do need to book a manicure. I will do that on Saturday. Make a difference. I did that today. I made a difference in someone's day. We're gonna update. There's a few things on here that need to be done. But the bottom line is that's kind of how I go through Todoist. So there's a bunch of stuff here that needs to be taken care of, and I'll just go through Todoist and reallocate it, likely to the themed days that it applies to. So you might have seen me do this before. But if I know that I need to get it, like, for example, today I have to cook dinner, that's definitely going to happen. If I am going to, like, recycling needs to happen, there's a few things in here that definitely I know I want to get done today. I'll do them, but then the rest are going to be moved to the appropriate themed day. Now, keep in mind that there's 6 things on that list. Most of them either exist here already in Todoist, and if they're ClickUp tasks, if they're productivityist tasks, they're already in ClickUp. So I don't really need to do a heck of a lot with this right now. I just needed to make sure it looked kind of clean, okay? I don't know. I think that's about it. Like, this is kind of the layout that I have when I sit down here in my study to work. I have my devices handy. I have my different zones. And I sit back and I do some work. And depending on the time of day, it depends on what I'm working on. So from 1 to 3, I'm normally working on video. Hi, Sandeep. Good to see you. If I'm working on video, I'll be using cameras and tech deck and stuff like that. And today between 1 and 3, I'm supposed to do that. So I'm betting, and this is going out to you, Fabrice, that I will probably take a look at the white balance stuff right after I'm done this. I will probably take a look at the computer stuff right after I'm done this and figure out, is this something that we need to do? That kind of thing. There we go. Yes. And that's a great question. Why am I using Todoist and ClickUp? To separate work and personal. I think ClickUp is overkill for personal, and I think Todoist is limiting for work when you have several team members. So ClickUp really scales incredibly well, which is why I use it for productivityist stuff or work stuff. And then I use Todoist for personal stuff, as well as projects that I don't necessarily need that are not work related, or at least not productivityist related, but might be. I'll give you an example. the book writing stuff doesn't need to go into ClickUp because I can do that inside of Todoist, and none of my team members really need to do anything with that because that's just me working on that stuff. So that stuff can live inside of Todoist, whereas ClickUp has all of the stuff that teammates need to work on. So that's why that happens. And then I also have clarity around, okay, oh, this is a work thing, it goes in here. Oh, this is a home thing, this goes in here. So it keeps those things separated. That's the way. And honestly, when I'm writing things down, I use different color ink too for work and home. So that way I can have that delineation there. Anything you can do to help your brain go, oh, what goes here? Oh, this goes here, I think is super helpful for your productivity. It's just a simple thing. And that's why, I mean, there are tools that have like Obsidian has both personal and work stuff in it. Evernote did for a long time, but I've since left Evernote. If you've watched my videos about Evernote, you see that as well. But that's kind of what happens is I use those to separate those things. I like to see segmentation. You can see that with my workspace as well. But yeah, I definitely need to, there's a few things that came to light during this live stream. Number one, for sure, taking a look at the main hub of my tech, which is this computer. Number two, I also need to make sure that, I think the biggest thing also too is to get the audio stuff sorted. Secondly is to take a look at the white balancing situation. Now I know that this camera has a window plus a light, whereas this camera just has a light up here and that's about it. So there is a distinct difference between the two. And I have to kind of figure out how I'm going to make that work. And I think that's just literally like the usual thing where you hold up, something that's white and then you white balance it that way. So that's something that I'm pretty sure I could do fairly easily. But I'm glad you brought it to my attention. I think that's it. We'll wrap this up a little bit earlier today. But there you go. You got to see a sense of how I work. We're going to do another live stream on Saturday. Don't know what it's going to be yet. I'll be mapping that out tomorrow on my audio video day. But I will say that this has been a lot of fun. If you have any other questions and you didn't watch it live, please let me know in the comments. If you have any feedback, let me know in the comments. I want to make this YouTube channel. I want to make videos that are better. I want to make everything about what I do better. And the idea of just putting this out there and getting some feedback from my trusted YouTube expert, my son, who's appeared on the channel before. All those kind of things I want to make better. I want to get the tech stuff sorted out so that way we don't have those hiccups. Things like that. That's it. That's all I wanted to share with you today. Thanks so much for taking the time. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, it's me, Mike Vardy, reminding you to stop doing productive and start being productive. See you later.